Sparkle like it's 1899.
Well, just down the street there's a hollowed out tree where you lay down $1 or two. You walk around the bend, then come back and there'll be a jug of that good old Mountain Dew. They call it that good old Mountain Dew. Then that reviews it up you. I'll hush up my bucket and fill up my jug with that good old Mountain Dew. Now my cousin Billy's got a still on that hill. He brews up a gallon or two. Then he goes up high, gets so drunk they can't fly just to smell of that good old Mountain Dew. They call it that good old Mountain Dew. And that refuse it up you. I hush up my bucket and fill up my jug with that good old Mountain Dew. My cousin Sue, she had this brand new perfume. She said had a marvelous view. They analyzed and then they realized it was nothing but that good old Mountain Dew. They call it the good old Mountain Dew. Then that refuse it up you. I hush up my bucket to fill up my jug with that good old Mountain Dew. Well, the preacher came to town, said his wife was feeling down. She was down with a case of the flu. He reckoned I ought to give him a snort of that good old Mountain Dew. For their school purposes, they call it the good old Mountain Dew. Then that refuse it up you. I hush up my bucket to fill up my jug with that good old Mountain Dew. Now my cousin Paul, he isn't that tall. He stands about 5'2". But he thinks he's a giant when he's had a pint of that good old Mountain Dew. They call it the good old Mountain Dew. And that refuse it up you.
Oh my God. It just goes on. We could do it forever. That Mountain Dew. And good old Mountain.
Oh my
They
God.
keep adding, they keep adding uh, lines to that song. Oops, where did Chuck go? Up, Chuck's gone. Chuck got knocked out. It's interesting. Can everybody see me okay? Oh, let's see what's going. Chuck Dransfield has re-entered the studio. Yeah,
Re-entered. I don't know what just happened there.
I
My
told you.
Wi-Fi.
Remember that? Yeah, your Wi-Fi was doing something weird where you were going in and out.
Yeah, and then we disappear live. I'm so sorry for that, folks, but I'm back.
No, don't worry about it.
Did I miss anything, Whimsy?
Well, I was just saying hi to everybody and talking about that song Mountain Dew, which is
that was fun.
song. I grew up with that music.
Did you?
We used to sing 12 verses of it. My Uncle Bart, my so-and-so. You just make stuff up so you could keep singing the song. It was really a silly song.
You know that I'm originally from southwestern Virginia, not West Virginia, the southwestern part of the state of Virginia, and that's Appalachian country, and I grew up with music like that also. In fact, it's still very big there. So it's very down home.
Right. And what else do you think is going on in Virginia tonight, other than the fact that we are, of course, listening to some great music out of that part of the world?
Mhm.
What do you think is so important about Virginia?
Well, it was just announced about 2 minutes before we went on the air that Spamberger won Virginia. She is going to be the new governor.
Absolutely correct. That is the right answer, Chuck. You get extra marshmallows in your hot chocolate.
Oh,
It
okay.
is official. Virginia election results coming in now that Abigail Spanberger, the
Mhm.
Democrat, yes, she has taken so many people. She's because I guess because they counted Richmond. I'm assuming
Mhm.
that the other person won't be able to get past 55.1%. So
Yeah.
Abigail Spanberger. Thinking it's going to be an early night tonight, Chuck? What are you
I don't
thinking?
know, at least in Virginia, because I know it's 8 o'clock on the East Coast. And apparently they felt that there was enough of a majority to call the election. I think
Yeah.
it's fantastic for my home state. It's very progressive. You know, when it's been decades since I lived in Virginia. I came originally from a little tiny town in southwestern part of the
Right.
state. And then I lived in Richmond for 7 years because that's where I went to college. I went to VCU.
Yeah,
But when I was there, it was considered an extremely conservative state and quite Republican. To see it go in this direction, this is a lot of progress, in my opinion. In fact, there were two women running for governor. It would have gone either way.
Mhm.
But I'm glad it went Democratic. And of course, it's a sign of what many are predicting, that we're going to see a big Democratic turnout this election, because it's a message to how people are angry and dissatisfied with the current administration, our
Yeah,
government, and the president.
yeah, I think that that's really the conversation is not will the Democrats do well tonight, but I think the big question that people are asking them, Chuck, is just how well will they
Mm-hmm.
do tonight? And of course, there are other races that we are looking at as well, Chuck. Virginia has just wrapped up, as we mentioned, for those people who are
Yeah.
joining us for tonight's special Taco Tuesday. We're all sitting around doing tacos, watching the results together. It looks like Abigail Spanberger, a
Mm-hmm.
Democrat, has taken and
Yeah.
won. She's taken the governorship. Now moving on to New Jersey with Mikey Sherrill ahead. He's
Yes.
almost 10 points.
I saw that. I saw that. So, I mean, there are lots of indications this is heading for the Democrats. I know here in California, we had only one thing that we voted for, is Proposition 50. And I tried to look on my phone before the show, see if there was anything from the exit polls, and I'm not seeing anything at all, other than the local news was saying it does seem to be going toward a victory. But New Jersey, what do you know about it, Whimsy, right now?
Well, it looks like I don't know a lot. Maybe our audience can tell us a little bit about what's going on, but it does look like it's a blowout for the Democrats. Again, here the numbers are coming in. It just got updated.
Yeah.
58% lead for Cheryl. I don't know, Chuck. I think I'm feeling pretty good if I'm a Democrat tonight. But
Yeah, I'm
how many?
feeling
Yeah,
quite
go ahead.
optimistic here. Sally Joe just said that Cheryl won in New Jersey. I didn't know if that had been announced. In fact, I normally don't do this, but I'm going to look on my phone to see if there's been a news bulletin.
I think they can go ahead and call it if you really want to know, because
Yeah.
14% has come in and they've already taken the larger cities, and now it's up 62.6 for Cheryl. So I
Yeah.
think this is pretty much
Well,
over. I think we
you
can call New Jersey.
yeah, probably so. You know, I subscribe to a number of news services with my apps on my phone, and the
Mhm.
only thing I'm seeing in the pop-up bulletins is about Abigail Spanberger. But I'm hoping something will pop up very shortly.
I don't.
New Jersey.
Yeah, I don't think that. I'm sorry. I don't think that Jack Ciattarelli is going to be able to pull this off. There's 16% of the vote coming in, mostly from mixed. I don't think this is even counting the mixed neighborhoods. Let's go ahead and take a look here.
Yeah.
And so I think this is not winnable. Yeah, they haven't even counted.
Yeah. And Sally Joe also mentioned she was just called a winner on MSNBC. So I would imagine the bulletins will start popping up soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Usually I get things like that very quickly on my phone.
So are there state races going on? What are we know about the key races that are going on?
The key races, state races, that's actually a very good question. I would imagine there are, but certainly it's nothing of significance like next year's midterm elections, nothing of that impact. It seems to be the gubernatorial races, the mayoral race in New York City, California's Proposition 50. Those seem to be the things that are getting the biggest attention in the news right now.
It does look like there are some results coming in that I'll go ahead and show you, Chuck, that I think the audience might want to see. I believe there is one seat that may have flipped in the House tonight. If California, we have the governor's race, which was called the mayor's race. Let's see here. I think it came up. It's a mayor race, Texas Proposition 16. Does anybody know what that proposition is? We should probably look that up.
Which proposition is that? In what
16
state?
out of Texas. I would like to.
Okay, let me see here. Prop 16 in
Texas. Yeah.
Texas. Okay, I'm just typing it in here.
Like a Democratic mayor has just taken Pittsburgh.
Okay, here we go. Texas Proposition 16 results. It's not telling me anything here. I'm sorry. I'm trying to do this live on the air, looking at my phone.
Be women's rights.
Sorry, I'm not seeing anything just yet. Hold on.
Yeah. So the mayors, it looks like Proposition 15 for and against is 71.6.
Wow.
Virginia Attorney General goes to a Democrat.
Yeah.
The mayor of Detroit hasn't been called yet.
No. Okay.
But overall, it looks like the Democrats are winning pretty much everything.
Well, that's what many were forecasting earlier today. And it's been said that this is going to be a major setback for Donald Trump and the MAGA movement because it's going to signal a very strong rebuke of Trump-aligned politics.
Right. Looks like New Jersey, the Democrats are just slaughtering them in New Jersey.
Good.
Do they understand how this type of bleed happened? Or do you think that they're going to do a post-mortem and try and figure this out? I mean, it's clearly, this is what they've had to understand in previous elections, is that Trump is a liability for down ballot.
Yeah, I thought of that today when Trump endorsed Cuomo for mayor. I thought that's got to be the kiss of death to get an endorsement from Trump right now. Almost like the mafia kiss of death. You know?
A Corleone.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, let's go ahead. Let's turn the camera around. Let's say hi.
Oh, yes. Okay. I put my glasses on. It has been a wild day for both of us.
Yeah, it's been a busy day.
People don't need to hear our personal dirty laundry, but it's been a busy day. So if I seem exasperated, that's why. But we have, of course, Gigi Pardo Lord.
Hi, Gigi.
Just the letter M. Intuitive Kathy. Board Director Joel Tilson.
Yay, thank God he's back. I hope he had a good birthday with his granddaughter.
Yeah, I'm scrolling through names here. Jolene, Renee, Rockin' Pony Lady, such a great name. Sorry, I'm repeating a lot of names here. I'm trying to scroll through these. Michelle Lynn,
close to 200 people.
Wendy Burt, your fabulous hat designer. Sugar Baby's mama. Keep scrolling here. Coyote Rosenbaum, 91. That's a great name.
I thought you were going to say Coyote Ugly. Who wrote Coyote Ugly?
I don't know. I know there was a movie.
It was that guy who was Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Didn't he write that also?
You know, I'm not sure. I'd have to look that up. I just remember
Hunter Thomas.
A movie. Yeah, that sounds like a title he would have come up with. Let's see. Of course, Intuitive Kathy, Claudia, Kimberly, lot of names repeating here. NYCH fan, Rose Blue, scrolling through here, Jill Linda. Keep going here. Sorry, I usually don't see so many names that keep repeating here. Sally Joe, of course, and I mentioned you earlier. Thank you for letting us know about the winner of New Jersey. I still have not gotten a bulletin on my phone on that. Ingrid H. Let's see here. Let me scroll through the names.
Well,
Queenie the Genie. Oh, one of my favorite names.
I'm a genie. Well, we can continue to say the names as we go along. Chuck, let's see what people are saying, starting with our floor director, Joel Tilson, is back after hopefully an enjoyable birthday party with his grandchild. Excuse me. A quiet civil war is brewing between Russia's military and the FSB. Who will win? What are you thinking, Chuck?
I don't know. That sounds like something we should answer when we do our blitz away. I don't really have an opinion on that. I don't know offhand. Do you, Whimsy? Do you have an opinion?
I think we should blitz away, and then also keep checking in on the election results.
Okay, sure.
And did anybody find out what Proposition 16 out of Texas is? Did we get any information on
that? I couldn't find anything on my phone here. I'm trying. Oh, wait. Here's something 2 minutes ago. Live results. Proposition 16. It's giving me 15. I want 16. 4 is winning, and Proposition 16 requires citizenship to vote. It requires citizenship to vote amendment, and it's leading substantially by almost 75%.
So it's basically voting for nothing. It's a vote to say you can't vote unless you're a citizen. Okay, well, nobody cares about that because that's already the law, isn't it? So
exactly. I always thought that was the law. You had to be a citizen to vote. So, I don't know. That just seems like, what the hell? Why was that even on the ballot to be voted on?
Who knows? All right, we're going to go ahead. We'll do the the empath's prayer. If anybody would like to receive a healing at this time, you can go ahead and give us your name or the name of the person you would like us to pray for, and then we can include them in our prayers today. Sound good, everybody?
Sounds good.
All right, let's do it. Okay. I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. And together collectively as a community, we say, Amen. And for those of you who are requesting a healing at this time, we come together at this time and we pray. We pray that you and those you love receive a perfect healing in mind, body, and in spirit. And together again, collectively, we say, Amen, Amen, Amen. May all souls be healed.
All souls be healed.
All souls be healed. Well, Chucky Poo,
yes.
What do you our book? We have a new book. I mean, we've been reading this book, and I'm like thinking, wow, man, it's like no book I've ever read before.
Exactly. It's quite an interview. I'll tell you something humorous. Remember I said like a week or two ago, I spilled a big glass of water on this book and soaked it like the waves of the ocean coming in. While we were starting the show, I knocked over my mug of water and the book is wet once again. What do you think that means?
I think it's about Atlantis falling. Ha, 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 ha. Stink, carplump.
Anyway, I have a very damp book here to hold up, but it is a fabulous work. And
I can see you really got into it.
I
have a lot of feelings about it,
Yeah.
it's almost like a coming of age story in a weird sort of way,
Mhm.
isn't it? It is a
Yeah,
coming of age, isn't it?
it is, but so many metaphors in it that certainly can apply today. I mean, some of those even obvious, saying that we're heading for a similar fall. Becoming
Yes.
too advanced, too out of alignment with our spirituality, too aligned with power and greed. You could go on and on.
Yeah. But also, but I just get the growth of the soul. That's what I get in this book, is that it's a really, there's a
The
few
growth of the
points that,
soul. Yes.
yes, yes, each one is a different
Yeah.
aspect or different archetype, which is expressed as part of what's fundamentally inside of us. There's a part of me that I want to be Ariel. I want to be
Mm-hmm.
the lioness. She has
Yeah.
that kind of an energy. And then there's another part of me that wants to be Michael, or I draw strength from Raphael. All these different archetypes, but I've never seen it expressed like this before.
It's an extremely expansive book, and I want to even ask him about that later. It's a lot. It's a lot for the reader to keep up with, so I can only imagine the journey it was to write this book. So
Yeah, it's a whole world, isn't it? You have to just
it
kind of
is.
suspend belief and go into it.
It certainly is.
All right, so not a simple read. This is not a simple read, Chuck. I
No, it is not.
put it down and go back to it, especially when it got towards the near halfway through. I was like, what was that? I think I've got the same area.
I had to go back a few times.
I
Yeah.
have certain points where, anyway, the point is that Adam's in our studio. You know
Yes,
that.
he is. Oh, absolutely.
And so he will be here at 6 o'clock tonight.
Mhm.
I know I have a lot of questions. And also, for those of you who loved the book, I know some of you have told me that you've already finished the book, you love the book.
Yeah.
My request for those of you who are in the book club is, please don't give endings away. When we first started this, everybody started talking about the endings. It happened.
Oh, yes.
It happened like 3 episodes, and now we have to have a thing like, please don't do that, because a lot of our audience has either just gotten the book,
Mhm.
or they're going to order the book, or they're in the middle of the book. So we don't want to give that away. But
Yeah.
it goes. What I will say about the book is it goes through. It shifts. There's a lot of shifts. A lot of shifts.
Mm-hmm. It's a lot to keep up with.
And there's a lot. So we're going to talk about that. So I'm excited about that.
Mhm.
Anything, Chuck, you want to say before we get into our blitzes?
No, I guess we should get into it, other than my notes here are wet also because I knocked my mug of water over. It seems very appropriate for this book.
Before we get into the blitzes, as
Sure.
many people know, Trump is not feeling optimistic about this election. And they say that he is quite upset, running around, having temper tantrums and all that matter. What are you thinking? Do you think that this is going to be the point at which the Republicans have to admit to themselves that this guy is a liability?
I sure hope so. I'm sure they have known privately for a long time, but this is just going to confirm what has probably been their worst fears and suspicions. When you said that about Trump throwing tantrums, here in California, there's a commercial. I don't know if you've seen it. Tom Steyer paid for it personally. And they've got an actor. It's an actor showing him from the back, made up to look like Trump. And he's hearing the election results on TV, and he's throwing a tantrum, and he's taking his McDonald's and throwing it in the floor. No, I hate California. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they say, stick it to Trump. That's actually what they say. Stick it to Trump.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. The other thing, in case we are remiss, and I'm sure the audience will want to talk a lot about this as well, is in case you didn't hear, former Vice President Dick Cheney, has passed away.
Yes, age of 84.
84. How long was he living with that fake heart of his?
I'm sorry. Forgive me. I should not laugh. I should not laugh, but that I'm not the first person. You're not the first person to say fake heart, but I don't know. I don't know how long. I know that he's had serious heart trouble. He's certainly one of the most controversial vice presidents we have ever had in history, and some have referred to him as the most powerful vice president we ever had in history. Some said that he was the architect behind the 2003 war on terror, going after Saddam Hussein for the weapons of mass destruction, driving that home.
Didn't exist.
Yeah, exactly. And didn't he even later acknowledge that?
Well, I think people were baffled as to why we went to war with Iraq. I still don't know why we went to war with Iraq. They had nothing to do with 9/11.
In fact, I saw something the other day that one of the biggest reasons for our enormous deficit right now is because of that war. It cost us trillions of dollars.
Yes, and the money this is something that we've talked about. The money was borrowed from China, and now we have to pay the money back that we borrowed from China for a war that didn't have to happen. But what did appear to happen was that the warmongers made a lot of money. So it was a manufactured war for profiteers at the expense of the American people. So the American people ultimately wound up bankrupted, trillions in debt in order to pay for a war that was never supposed to happen. And something like 500,000 innocent people died, and it was completely sanitized. And so we weren't able to see the pictures of dead babies and everything. Because it was blocked. So we didn't even know what these criminals were doing in order to.
I remember talking to friends in Europe who said their news coverage, they were seeing these things. They couldn't understand why it was being censored for us here in America. We were getting a very different viewpoint on the news.
Very, very sad, very unfortunate that he did have that power. And to this day, I still don't know why we took out Saddam Hussein, who was a secularist, by the way. He was not.
Yeah.
He was not a religious person. He was.
I think it was all for drama. It was all for show. It's entertain the masses, America, the television generation, which Trump has mastered all of these years.
It's almost like they manufactured a war to let's make some money. Let's go conquer a country and make some money.
Yeah.
Halliburton.
Certainly acts as a big distraction for a number of other things. Did you ever see that movie where Christian Bale, of all people, played Cheney? He must have been under about 80 pounds of latex makeup. He had to wear a full bodysuit, full head makeup, and everything. God. Yeah, he got an Oscar nomination for it. The movie was a little disappointing. I was expecting more bite to it, but maybe it was just a chance for Christian Bale to just say, "Hey, look what I can do. Look how versatile I am."
Yeah. Wow. Look how thin he got after he had his heart attack.
Yeah. And the biggest surprise for me was when he and Liz Cheney both came out in support of Kamala Harris and denounced Trump. That took a lot of guts.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about. I mean, maybe the point is that we are becoming so right-wing that the right wing now looks liberal.
Yeah. It's interesting you say that, because I don't want to get off subject here, but Marjorie Taylor Greene was on The View today, and the ladies, it was surprisingly cordial. It was kind. It was professional. And the women even made a joke about, "Hey, you should become a Democrat." It was almost like she was a little more liberal than her fellow Republicans. We never thought we'd say that about Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was quite a surprising interview today.
Yeah. What did she say that was so liberal that had?
I wish I had some specifics here to give you, but she was saying, I feel that both parties, Democrats and Republicans, have let us down. And she said, she still insists that she loves Trump. She's a fierce Republican, but she also is not afraid to criticize Trump and the Republican Party right now. In fact, she's been very critical, especially when it comes to things like SNAP benefits, the subsidies on health insurance.
She supports SNAP benefits?
That's my understanding. But she really is outraged about what's going to happen with healthcare, because we've got people in this country, they're going to potentially see their healthcare double, triple, or even quadruple.
So she's a democratic socialist that's confused. So somebody needs to take her out and give her a beer and deprogram her and send her off to Bernie, because she would be a good asset for Bernie. She going in and communicating in rural areas the importance of democratic socialist ideas and how they ultimately are good for the poor.
Yeah. Well, this is an interesting comment. It just disappeared here. An NYCH fan, Marjorie Taylor Greene is trying to save herself. She sees the writing on the wall. I think there could be some validity to that.
Yeah.
It was a very different side of her today. I think we were all expecting a big dramatic showdown, a big fight. No, it was surprisingly civil, kind, and it was professionally conducted.
Maybe that's where we're headed. Maybe once we get rid of Trump and the corrupt FBI, because the FBI is corrupted.
Yeah. Well, she did allude to she was asked about the Epstein files and why they're being held up. And she claimed, well, I don't know anything about Donald Trump in there, but obviously there are a lot of wealthy, powerful people being in that list, and they're being protected right now. That she did feel.
Yeah. And I keep saying over and over again, the guy watching the door, the protector, is the problem, and the protector is the FBI and our Justice Department and our intelligence agencies. And that is the hardest truth that I think we're coming to terms with as a nation, is that our country did this to us.
Yeah.
And it's done worse to Native Americans, indigenous peoples, what they've done and continue to do on reservation. Illegal testing, mining uranium. They don't care.
No, that's very obvious. They don't care.
They don't consider first persons to be people.
Yeah. That's the prevailing feeling. They don't care. They don't give a crap about us. I mean, there are people who are literally going to be starving soon. Children, senior citizens, handicapped people, so dependent on their SNAP benefits, and they're being used as political pawns right now. And the Republicans are even using it. Well, if the Democrats would just side with us, people wouldn't have to starve. It's horrendous gaslighting and manipulation right now.
When you and I talked about Trump's energy and his health, that we thought maybe there was going to be a medical crisis or some event that happens in late December, that was 4 months ago. And so we were talking about, oh no, that was 3.5 months ago. Is that right?
Something like that. I don't.
So because it falls sometime around late December that the energy with Trump dips.
Yeah. We've been getting that at the end of the year.
Right, and so have a lot of other readers. I don't think I don't think he's going to die. The question is whether or not he is fit to take on a responsibility of being the president if it's found that he has white matter in the brain. It was interesting. A doctor was being interviewed about it. I think it was Midas Touch. And she said, you're 79 years old. Of course, you have great white matter in your brain. Like, she was just very pragmatic. This is absurd. You are a 79-year-old man. You're going to have white matter on your brain, but you can live with senility for a long time.
Oh, yes, we've seen that. We've seen people well into their 90s reach the age of 100 and more with senility, but they're still physically strong.
Yeah,
we have seen that. But Trump, it seems to be physically he's declining as well as mentally. We're seeing that. We can't help it because the president is under a constant microscope. We're watching this, like the 60 Minutes interview that Norah O'Donnell conducted. I haven't watched that yet. I don't know if you've seen it. I've only seen bits and pieces of it, but it was really disturbing just to see him rambling and getting lost and diverting questions. And this was something I asked you before the show, because several people are pointing out in the interview, his right eye was noticeably swollen shut. And I didn't know if you felt that could be connected to any of his other conditions, or it's just coincidental. Like you said, maybe a spider bite or something.
Yeah, I mean, usually when we see it's just one eye, it's unifocal, an injury like that or
Yeah,
a lesion like that. The first thought is that it could have been an insect bite on the eye.
yeah,
The other could be that it's an infection, that some kind of dirt or infection got into the eye,
yeah,
or it could be a shingles breakout, which can
yeah.
also take out the eye. Yeah, a
He might,
conjunctivitis.
yeah, he might even be a contact lens wearer. And any of us who wear contacts know sometimes you can get a piece of dust under your eye, under your contact lens, and it can be quite painful.
Yeah, let's go ahead and throw some cards about Trump's health status. Thank you all for being here. If you
Yeah,
can like,
thank
share,
you.
and subscribe for this special edition of Taco Tuesdays, we are checking out the races with you. And if you want to hang with us and check election results, we would absolutely love that. And of course, later on tonight, we're having Adam Steinmetz in our studios. That ought to be really exciting.
Yeah. Ooh. Oh my God. Some of the things I get with these cards. I mean, I think what I've got here is of no surprise whatsoever, but obvious things like loss, shadow, despair. He's fighting for his survival right now. He's in a lot of denial about this. Maybe others are in denial, but there are a lot of decisions going on right now around his health. And this is the card I always dread because we're on live and we're not supposed to talk about somebody's death. And I'm not saying he's going to die, like you just said earlier, but I'm getting it's the death of his presidency. That's what I think this is referring to. I don't get that he's necessarily going to die soon, but he's certainly in very bad shape. And there's a lot of decisions about it. Trump's in his denial right now. So what do you have, Whimsy?
Wow. Well, the first thing I have is an inverted Seven of Cups. So that's really quite bad. Seven of Cups is in the clouds. So I would be inclined to think that his main issue is dementia or it's his brain.
You think that could even be denial?
It's interesting. When you get these kinds of diagnoses, the person may notice things happening. They may be in the middle of making a cup of coffee and then notice there's a coffee in front of them that's warm. How did that get there? Because you already made the coffee. There will be little glitches along the way.
I think we've all witnessed that with loved ones.
And that's something that people with Alzheimer's, when you're starting to get mental decline, I'm not talking about people that smoke too much weed. Oh my God, did I forget I'm not talking about that group. We can't even make a diagnosis until they get off the weed for a couple of weeks. But I mean, no, but the family members will notice strange things like not putting a coat on in the middle of December and just walking out in sandals, unusual behavior. And so it could be that people close to him that work with him or family members suspected or saw unusual behavior that led to his having the MRI, because Seven of Cups is to be in the clouds, delusional, and Grandpa doesn't know where he is.
Yeah, it's undeniable. Yeah, I was thinking of a friend of mine.
All these are inverted. Inverted Three of Swords. The other thing it's saying is that here's what the cards are saying, and this is an entertainment show, but they're saying dementia and coronary artery disease are the main issues. I mean, you don't have to trust me. You can check it out.
Sure, just the simple not pumping enough blood, enough oxygen to the brain, even,
which can cause oxygen deficit in the brain and can push any problems he has with the brain over the top. It can actually aggravate his pre-existing condition. And also the power, as far as Trump is concerned, what I get psychically when I go into this energy is that I let you do your test because I'm not like Biden. If anybody will ask me to take one of those tests, I'll take one of those tests.
Yeah.
I took those tests. fuck, I took one of those tests. So now the power
He
is
called it an IQ test.
So what's happened now to Trump is that it's dawning on him, oh, I'm not afraid. Sure, I'll take your damn test. I'm not afraid. I'm not. Oh, hell, the power. I handed in my bravado, I proceeded to hand you the I handed you the power. I handed you the briefcase with the goods because this is a guy with severe coronary artery disease and brain issues.
Yeah.
This is under investigation. The queen who holds the investigation, her and the King of Pentacles are known for holding their secrets. That's why they're often associated with like the G-men, the FBI, investigations, keeping it in the dark, you know. So some kind of an investigation. I'm defending myself against the attack. I'm telling you, he is now beginning to question the power he gave those people.
Right. Which is ironic because the Congress and the Supreme Court have been giving their power away to him, and now it's happening to Trump in another way. He's giving his power away. I mean, I don't know. It just seems like an odd correlation there. But with Trump, I mean, it's just, you know, it's been pointed out what an impulsive, he's always been impulsive anyway. That's been pointed out by Mary Trump. But this is a man who just suddenly took a wrecking ball to the East Wing of the White House. I know it was planned, you know, but this was going to be done very carefully. He just went out there in a fit of rage and started attacking it. And it was right after the No Kings rally the day before. It's like he was saying, well, you took something away from me. I'm going to take something away of importance to you. It just felt so impetuous. And then, of course, God help us all. This is the man with the nuclear codes. At least I hope somebody has actually hidden those from him. He doesn't really have them. That's just hearsay that he has the nuclear codes because he's the president and commander in chief. I mean, do we have to even say it, Whimsy?
Oh, gosh. Well, this next question coming from Joel is good to sideline into that. Will we have tribunals in the future over Trump and MAGA's corruption? What's your feeling on that? Do you think he's just going to go off is he going to go off like Oliver Cromwell and have a nervous breakdown and disappear? I mean, after what Oliver Cromwell did to Ireland, you thought something really horrible was going to happen to this man. Yeah. But that's not what happened to Oliver Cromwell. He's like, I'm tired of killing everyone. I'm going to go back to the farm. And that's it. He just left. There was no horrible ending for Oliver Cromwell. He simply went back to the farm. And I often think about that with Trump. Are we going to have tribunals, or is he just going to go back to Mar-a-Lago like nothing happened?
Well, you know, I'm just basing it on what we've been getting in previous readings, you know, that he's going to be given the quote unquote dignity of resigning because of health reasons. You know, I know you don't want to do your Lindsey Graham right now, but
go, Mr. Trump. You can't stay. I'm sorry. I did not want to be the one to tell you, but the rest of those folks want to talk to you.
Yeah.
They said you pinched that ass last time they was up here. So they're not coming to help you. I gotta come and tell you, you can't stay, Mr. President. You gotta go.
It never gets old, Whimsy. I'm sorry. I love it. Maybe it's my own personal entertainment. Maybe other people out there are tired of it, but I love when you do that impression. But
who else could do it? But who else could fire Trump? But Lindsey?
Yeah, but that's what I'm getting. Trump just always seems to get away with everything, and I'm just sensing even in the end here, he's going to be given this graceful, dignified way of resigning. You know, I told you my own suspicion is we're going to see more of these health reports being released, paving the way for how he's getting sick, how he may not be able to conduct his presidency anymore, and he's going to have to resign and leave office like a martyr. You know, I don't know. I would love it if he would be held accountable, but I'm not quite seeing it.
Yeah, I think you might be right. I think it could be a situation where they're just so jonesing to get JD Vance in there for their agenda. Yeah. I know everybody's like, no, Kamala's going to come in and it's going to be all, you have to be able, I don't want to put myself in the shoes of the Republicans, but this is what I do all day long. This is, we're professionals here. As we put ourselves, I put myself in the shoe. They have the power. And here is how you feel when you're a Republican. You feel we have the power, but we're about to lose the power if we don't throw this guy. We got to get rid of him, and we got to get somebody in there that's stable. So we're already building a portfolio. We got a little portfolio on you, Mr. Trump, and it shows that you got some white matter and you got coronary artery disease. You can't fly anymore, Mr. President. You cannot fly on Air Force One because it's a medical concern. You can't get a ride off. You can't go to the Middle East. You can't sign that peace treaty. You got to go.
He's going to say, but I was just given this $400 million plane.
And now you're going to give it to J.D. Vance.
Oh, that's going to hurt. He's not going to be happy about that.
All right. Any feelings about the budget?
Oh, God, how I wish there would be a budget deal tomorrow, but I just don't see that being possible. I mean, we can pull cards on it, read, but what do you think, Whimsy?
I think that after today's results, looks like a Democrat has taken a lieutenant governor position in Virginia.
Yes, I saw that.
On that as well. And Democrat took the attorney general's seat as well. So,
and for Virginia, that's a big deal.
Look, if it were me, I'd be scared out of my wits about 2026.
Yeah, maybe this will be the wake up to the Republicans, you know, that they're going to lose themselves next year if they don't strike a deal with the Democrats. Something has got to be done. It's my understanding as of tomorrow, it will be the longest government shutdown in history. Today, it tied with the longest.
I just can't get over these numbers. What a bloodbath. And it happened in New Jersey. Good.
This was being predicted.
Look at Pittsburgh. I mean, get a hint. You claim the guy took Pennsylvania. Take a look at the numbers out of Pittsburgh.
The numbers out of Pittsburgh.
If you're planning, if you think that a Republican is ever going to take Pennsylvania again, you'd better wake up and drink the coffee and take a look at what's going on in Pennsylvania.
Sure. Well, this is why they're fighting for all of this gerrymandering and redistricting, redrawing district lines, because they know they can't win next year unless they cheat. They are so despised right now, and justifiably so. And you know, nothing speaks louder than the economy, people's personal pocketbook, people's finances. Supposedly, that's what got Trump elected. His lie about how he was going to bring down grocery prices and the such. Well, right now we got people, their health care going up, SNAP benefits have been taken away, prices are going up everywhere because of the tariffs. People are very unhappy. People are very angry right now.
Right. Well, this to me is a bloodbath happening in New Jersey with the governorship. 58.9 to 40.6.
Oh, I'm just seeing that commercial with Trump throwing his Big Mac on the floor and his fries and going, you know.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I hate California.
Again, yeah, with Lieutenant Governor again. A solid win for the. Now that is really important because that means that we're going to start seeing some strong pushback. Legally, I would think, with these types of wins from the Democrats, wouldn't you think?
It's definitely looking like a huge mandate that cannot be denied. And, you know, it's been said of Trump, you know, I keep referencing Mary Trump, but she is a clinical psychologist and she's his niece. And she has long said that her uncle just cannot really face reality. Hence, he could not face that he lost the 2020 election. Examples like that. So I'm really curious to see what his comments are going to be.
Well, I think he's in serious trouble also if you have attorney generals and lieutenant governors start becoming Democratic seats, then he's not going to be able to do anything with ICE. He's not going to be able to do anything with anything because he no longer has control of the courts.
Yeah. Oh, he was even complaining today or yesterday about, or maybe it was in the 60 Minutes interview. The reason we're not making progress with the government shutdown is because of those liberal court appointees of Biden and Obama. You know, he was blaming that. You know, so he's clearly perturbed by the courts. And I remember, I think it was last spring when we were doing readings on this. We were picking up that the courts were going to be what would save the country.
Yeah, the lieutenant. Yeah, it looks like. Yeah, when you start to get attorney generals and you start to get the lieutenant governor,
Mhm.
everybody, and the governor is a Democrat, you're not going to get any help when you start trying to bully and go after. You're not going to be able to bully, and you're not going to be able to go into New Jersey and start
Yeah.
attacking and seeking revenge when you have numbers like that. So that's kind of nice. When you see that, it means that those states are going to have some protection against, whatever he has planned. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it's going to stop Trump from trying to bully. Like he's already saying that if Mamdani, did I say that correctly?
Mamdani
wins the mayorship, which it looks like he's going to do. Trump was saying, well, I'm going to cut off funding to New York City. You know, things like that. Insane threats. You know,
trying to control, going after prosecutors, going after the attorney general. He was literally trying to lock up the people that were keeping him from locking people up. I mean, this guy's. But how bad does it get? Is he Mad King George? Some people think he's the reincarnation of Mad King George, come back to terrorize the, what do they call us?
The 13 colonies?
The colonies, yes.
The colonies,
yeah. The colonies.
Yeah.
All right.
There's even a movie called The Madness of King George.
I know, I love that movie. It was great.
I still have not seen that movie. I need to watch it. It's on my list. It's wonderful. I'm even thinking of Hamilton. You know, that Jonathan Groff played King George, and he has this song about "You'll be back," and you don't want my love, so I'm going to send a battalion to remind you of it. You know, lines like that.
All right, let's see. Budget for tomorrow. Let's take a look.
Well, tomorrow.
Huh.
I'm certainly not getting anything good here. Okay, I'm going to also. Will there be a new budget deal tomorrow? Will there be a budget deal tomorrow? Budget deal tomorrow. Will there be a budget deal tomorrow? Whoa. Well, I'm getting conflicting energy here. I got kind of a weakish yes at the pendulum. But in my cards, I got survival, despair, loss, suffering. But then my last card, new beginnings. So I'd have to say it's kind of leaning in that direction. But what did you get with your tarot, Lindsay?
That the bloom is off the rose, and that this is a wake-up call. Before
that's what I'm sensing.
And that they are going to inverted devil. They are breaking the chains of the cult. You, Mr. President, the bloom is off the rose.
Okay, that's kind of what I was feeling.
It's been brought to my, I'm sorry, Mr. President, but the duty has fallen on me to inform you that we have reached a consensus in the Senate. You had to go. You cannot stay. Because if you don't leave, they're going to issue Article 25 and drag your ass out of there. You can't stay. We got white matter. We got you on the MRI. We got you on the field. We got a CT. We got an MRI. We got the real psych eval that we didn't show the public. And it's all damning, Mr. President. So you can either be drug out in shackles. Now, you don't want that now, do you?
That's a lovely image, actually. Trump in shackles. I'm sorry. But I'm just envisioning, this isn't even mentioning the Epstein files and what that says on him, But yeah, I was like, this is where I'm surprised. I was not expecting this to get the pendulum going in the direction of a yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're getting rid of him, and then the money is freed. Be patient.
Yeah.
The people are strong. Look, we got rid of people in the past that didn't serve. This is what happened with the fall of the French Civil War, the American Civil War.
Yeah. Yeah. And Joel just said, what time did you say this? 5:56. The New York mayor results will be announced in 5 minutes. I don't know what time it is at the moment.
I had a dream that Mamdani won.
Oh, I'm certain he won, but we will. So far it's just gone right down the line for the Democrats. M is asking, is King Charles handing over more responsibilities to William? Will we have a King William soon? Just in the news, that's already been talked about how William has been taking over a lot of the duties for the king. That's already an acknowledged fact. As far as having a King William soon, that's going to depend on the king's health. I don't see the king abdicating any more than his mother would have abdicated, but his health is noticeably declining.
Yeah,
and I think that's one of the reasons.
He will not be a popular king. William will make the nation depressed. I see that the nation is sad because of his strictness, his cruelty, his refusal to bend, his cold aloofness, the people are sad under William's rule. That is what I see. And we have the first house of William is the devil. So this is not a kind, warm, loving man. This is a man who drinks. This is a man who's stern. This is a man who has a temper. And his father is the inverted emperor. Yeah. So his father is unfortunately not able to continue on. And it's fated, but the trappings, and then the nation is heartbroken. So I'm sorry to say, he will not be loved like his grandmother was loved.
No, I was just going to say that because I feel that there's been a steady decline in popularity in the monarchy ever since Queen Elizabeth died. She was like the nation's grandmother. She was so beloved, and people admired her for the way she conducted her job with the highest of duty and honor. King Charles, I think, the taint of cheating on Diana, marrying Kamala. There are a lot of reasons why King Charles is not popular. And as you just pointed out, William is going to be even less popular. And it seems to be what we have been seeing, and others have been predicting, that the British monarchy might be on its way out. Maybe not immediately, but we're certainly seeing the signs of it in the next, say, decade or two.
Yeah, I mean, the impression...
Antiquated.
The impression you get is that he doesn't want to go out. He doesn't want to work. Once or twice a year, they will come out for the balcony, but the rest of the time they live private lives. And there's a feeling of depression in Britain that they are not being comforted for the difficult times that lay ahead for Britain. Yeah. They used to look to the Queen, and she would, stiff up a lip. We are Britain. We will find a way, and that's not going to happen under William. Under William, the door is closed. Leave me alone. This is not my problem.
Exactly.
And so there's this sadness I feel over Britain. The Three of Swords. He does not rule a happy kingdom.
No, Queen Elizabeth.
He's not happy because he's trapped. Gosh darn it, I'm trapped. I've remote viewed him, right? And what do I get when I remote view? I'm trapped, and so is my wife.
That's what Harry said.
We drink. There you have it. We drink because we're trapped. Of course, she's miserable. Wouldn't you be miserable if you were her? Trapped.
That sounds like his father also.
People now are in charge. So how happy can their kingdom be?
Exactly. These are people who are supported on the whims of the British taxpayers. And it's becoming increasingly difficult for them to keep pleasing the people and playing the roles that the public expects of them. They're trying to modernize. I almost said King William. Prince William, as king, he has already indicated this, that he is going to further streamline the monarchy. King Charles has already done that, but William will take it much further.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I don't think it's going to be popular. I think one of the things people loved about the Queen was she represented old tradition, beautiful old tradition. There was something comforting in that,
And
like
people felt like they had,
holiday time,
right, and they felt like they had a solid person at the like holy
70 years.
through World War II. I was in doing my
Yeah.
duty. So
And she was a link to the old monarchy
yeah.
and bridged into the modern days.
Well, Chuck, did you have fun today? Did you have?
Oh, yeah, I
Yeah.
did. I can't believe the hour has already gone by so quickly, but it's not entirely over.
And of course, we invite you all to stay with us as we end the Taco Tuesdays. We are going to take one quick look at the races. We are watching them as we go along, as they say. And we're very happy with the results so far. It looks like a lot of Democrats. And in legal, look at that. Don't you just love to see a attorney general who's going to now if we could get that in all 50 states, no, we never have to be afraid again. No. And then we talked about Abigail Spanberger, New Jersey, and Zoran, it looks like he is winning 51.5 to 39.7. I think we can call it for Ramdani. I think so. It's going to be nearly impossible. Oh, they counted Queens first. Yeah, I think it's over.
Yeah, I know that the polls taken beforehand were showing that likely Proposition 50 is going to pass in California, and I was looking on my phone to see something, and I forget that we're on West Coast time. Here I am in Los Angeles. The polls are still open till 8 o'clock. So of course they're not going to announce anything, but I bet you at the strike of 8 o'clock, they will.
Right. And remind
11 on the East Coast, of course.
And can you remind people again why California Proposition 50 is so important and why we're watching it so closely as Democrats?
Well, it's in direct response to what Texas is doing with the gerrymandering to redraw district lines, supposedly at the insistence of Donald Trump, to favor the Republicans, to create opportunities for more Republican seats. Since, like I said earlier, the Republicans know they have to cheat. They're so unpopular right now. So Gavin Newsom initiated this proposition, leaving it, of course, to the voters to decide, where we redraw our lines to favor the Democrats, to create 5 more Democratic seats, to counter those 5 Republican seats in Texas. And also, I don't know if it's happening yet in Missouri, but they're supposed to be trying to redraw their district lines also to favor Republicans. And I forget the other states.
I don't think it could work. Yeah, I don't think it's going to work in Missouri, though.
Probably not.
Because of how Missouri is set up, I think that's going to be real hard for them.
Yeah, so I think there is hope that a strong turnout in California is going to send a powerful mandate to the rest of the country.
And you can take a look at that huge blue of the boroughs, the 5 boroughs, all seem to be going to Mamdani. What was that? Staten Island goes to Cuomo?
Really?
So, yeah.
Staten Island.
I'll take Staten Island. What is it? Coney Island too.
What was it? I'll take Manhattan.
I'll take. How's the real song go?
I'll take Manhattan. I know that's the first
and
line.
Staten Island.
And Staten Island, because it rhymes with Manhattan, I'm sure.
Right. Well, everyone, thank you for being here.
You.
As many of you know, we have an amazing book club, and I would like those of you who don't know about our book club to be actively involved, because we are democratic socialists here. We like to be with the people. We like to promote books that empower you and get you to think, spiritual topics of, survival, empowerment, spiritual things that get us to think. And so if you have a book that you have written, we're looking for independent authors that you feel would fit for us, because Chuck and I started this group, almost 3 years ago.
3 years ago.
And we've seen some great books. So
we sure have.
Yeah, it's been fun, Chuck. So if you'd like to send those books to us, please do so. at care of Dr. Whimsy Anderson, 1819 Southwest 5th Avenue, Suite 116, Portland, Oregon, 97201. And maybe you'll appear at Taco Tuesdays. All right. So Atlantis Falling, written by Adam Gabriel Steinmetz, is, I'll just read about it a little bit here. In the beginning, there was the kind.
Mhm.
Right. So this is an ensemble cast. If you decide to get the book, and the ensemble is the kind, angelic beings of pure energy. I really freaking love this concept, by the way. That's why I picked this book. Energy deeply connected to the infinitely empowered to create worlds. That's what I freaking loved about this. That like caught me into this story.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, give a very, very warm welcome to the amazing Adam Steinmetz. Welcome, Adam. Thanks for being
Hi,
here.
Adam.
Thanks for having me. I'm so grateful to be here.
It's our pleasure to have you here. Adam, I said at the beginning of the show on a humorous note, this book has been through the run.
I saw that, and I'll be happy to send you another copy. I'm sorry to hear that happened to your book.
It's okay.
Water.
But I spilled water on it a second time. There's something metaphorical about the water coming in. I even soaked my notes for you. They've dried off quite a bit. But we should just get into our interview with you. It's just quite a piece of work, a very complex piece of work. The opening of Atlantis Falling presents the kind, beings of pure creative energy who choose physical existence. Tell us what sparked this metaphysical premise, and how did you build their world?
It was a long process that took a long time, actually. I started writing when I was 12, and by the time I was 21, I went through that period that all great authors go through. I just threw away and burned everything I had written. So first of all, I gave myself bandwidth. I opened the channel. There was nothing in there keeping me from writing this book. Mm-hmm. Just like the Fool there. You gotta let yourself be open. And I had devoted myself to my spirituality in that moment, and was meeting a lot of new people. I met people just like you've both mentioned, who said they knew me from Atlantis, and I'd come to accept reincarnation. And I had a teacher at the time, and I went to him and said, what's the deal about Atlantis? What's, all this feedback I'm getting from people that they know me. And being the great teacher he was, he always shifted it back to me. Well, what do you think? What are your impressions? Mm-hmm. And right away, I started getting what I know now are past life memories.
Yeah.
So that's what started it, was my own personal spiritual journey. But I was looking. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to put the Fool up. The Fool is an androgynous being that has not entered the world yet. He is preparing to leap, and he is going from being a being of light. And that symbol on him, that is the symbol in Kabbalah of infinity, or the Ein Sof, the endless light. So that's what those little circles are. That's the Ein Sof. So he is one with the Ein Sof. He is the kind. And he is the kind before it takes the leap to enter the world. And I just thought it would be really cool to show that image. Makes me think of, your book. But please go ahead. Yeah. I'm sorry.
So, but that's just a great metaphor for where my characters start off in the book, and the mind state I was in when I started to put together this book. I was looking for something new to write while I was in college, and it just occurred to me, like, well, that's it. That's the story right there. I just put all these things I've learned into a book. Yeah. But, I wanted to go do research on Atlantis, and I read everything there was out at that time. This was the mid-90s. So the stack of books on Atlantis was a lot smaller.
Right.
Yeah. But
I also got into the Kabbalah too, which inspired a lot of the characters. So all this kind of came together into a great myth, and I started writing it there, and one of my professors helped me edit it. So that's the beginning.
Yeah, it's just fascinating. You said that this was even starting when you were, about 14 years old? It was already forming. I mean, this just sounds to me like a journey of discovery for you. I know when I'm writing, often it feels like a journey where I'm just channeling and receiving. And it felt like you were channeling this book. You were
Absolutely.
receiving it from a higher source.
Yes, absolutely.
That was quite apparent to me. In fact, that was a question I was going to ask you at the end of the show, but you more or less answered it at the beginning. So it was clearly meant to be brought up.
I'm still learning about
Aren't we all?
what I wrote. It's still new to me in a lot of ways. I learn something new about it all the time.
Really?
I have a question about their personalities, because the thing that struck me as I was going into this was that they all had personalities that were formed, but what the world that you described, can you just describe a little bit about the world that the kind live in? So to help them understand, because in a way they're like children, aren't they?
Right. Yeah. I heard you guys talking about that earlier, and I thought that was really interesting because I was inspired by a lot of coming of age stories when I was growing up, and those still kind of tend to be some of my favorite stories. But just recently this year, I've been working on making videos to illustrate and animate these scenes and share them with people to get them interested in the book. And I noticed all the scenes that I was making from the Lemuria period, they were all like teenagers and stuff. And so I was like, I didn't put that in the book, but that's right to me. It's like I could see them being teenagers there, and then later on in Atlantis, they're all adults and much more mature in their ways.
It's like Hunger Games, but a less brutal version, isn't it? Like on page 55, which I had dog-eared, where they're going through all these spiritual lessons, what they want to achieve versus what actually happens, because they also have to learn, this is what I'm saying, it's a coming of age. They have to come to terms with what they can control and what they can't control.
Right.
Can you speak to that a little bit?
Well, one other thing I wanted to say about it was the language. If you pay attention to the language in it, it gets more adult as the book goes on. Too.
Yeah. That's a good point.
They use a very adult word, and some people have even mistake this reading early in the beginning. Is this a young adult book? And my brother posted a picture of my niece taking into the school to share. And I kind of cringed because I was like, oh, I hope they don't open that book and see that word that's kind of 3/4 through it. Because that's appropriate for elementary.
I'm sure they've heard the word.
Yeah, I'm sure they've heard worse.
But also because they're innocent, they're more easily tempted, I think.
Right. That's what this is about. Yeah. It's about that childness, that wonder inside us that leads us to create and explore. And we get tempted the more we learn, and we get distracted from our purpose, what we're here for. But then we relearn what that purpose is. We rediscover it in a way we could really only discover as adults. So that comes around full circle.
Yeah. No, it's interesting, the observation about the book becoming more adult, because I noticed it grew increasingly complex. At least that's how it felt to me as I got into it. As we said early in the show, it's not an easy read. There were a few times I did have to go back and reread a page to fully take it in. But I really admire what you were doing. And there was a question I had here, that what were the biggest writing challenges you faced when tackling a story with such an epic scale and then metaphysical stakes with that?
That was a big challenge. I'll definitely admit that. I mean, the book covers tens of thousands of years, if not over a million years, billions of years. And that was a challenge. It occurred to me several times, like, this could just be a series in its own. I could break this down and just tell stories in Lemuria, and that could be a book, and then stories about early Atlantis.
Like Star Trek, man.
Right.
Yeah.
But I wanted to stick with the main character of Gabriel. This is Gabriel's journey. So as challenging as it was going to be, I was going to have to get him from the beginning to the fall of Atlantis. And so I've got that chapter in there about the collective unconscious. And so we see a bit more of the passing of time there. But at the same time, I take that time to illustrate how things grow and change. And I hope that that's fluid for the reader. That helps get the reader there, and it's not too abrupt. I know there could be a lot of exposition. Those two chapters kind of right there in the middle. It's like we have one that's in a dream kind of state and another that's just like, okay, now you're in Atlantis. Here we are. Here's where everybody is. Here's what they're doing. And I know it's a lot of telling rather than showing, but I hope that I did that in an illustrative way.
You did. In fact, I would use the word cinematic.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's an obvious thing to say, but many times when I read a book, I feel like I'm viewing a movie. And that's how this felt. It felt like an Avatar film. You know?
That's how it is in my head when I write it. You know, it's like a movie in my head, and I'm just there observing and writing it all down. So, yeah, I'm glad it went through.
Did you ever feel like with some of these characters, they do feel alive to me, like Gabriel? There's some eerie things where you feel like it's almost like he's alive. I don't know. I wondered as I read this book, did you feel that the characters were making decisions that you had no control over, or that you had to just commit to decisions because they were so much a part of that character?
Oh, absolutely. That it was about just observing them. Sometimes I loved sitting down to a blank page. A lot of authors fear that because they're afraid they're going to get locked up and they'll get writer's block, but not me. It's when I sit down to a blank page, I just see infinite possibilities. I see a stage.
Me too.
And I know this character's got to get from A to B, and I have no idea how they're going to get there or what they're going to say. And then I just watch it happen. Sometimes it's a little less direct. It's about thinking about or just observing the things around me. Like some of these characters, I was looking forward to telling this story about Hanael. I knew intellectually what Hanael was about, what she looked like. But, you know, I was really trying to get the essence of her character. And I was sitting at a coffee shop taking notes on this and just asked, like, show me Hanael. And right at that moment, the barista was kind of a petite woman, leapt over the counter with a baseball bat in her hand, and she chased somebody off the patio outside. I was like, that's her. Just bold and unafraid. And she's going to go, if there's trouble around, she's going to go right after it. Tackle it head on.
Oh,
wow, that's incredible.
I love hearing you talk about this because it just reminds me of what I said earlier. It's like a journey you go on. I'm the same way when I write. Sometimes I can't wait to get home to see where the story's going to go. What are the characters going to do? I don't even know myself because I'm being guided and channeled. And it sounds like the same thing for you.
Right.
I think J.K. Rowling even said that when she was writing the first Harry Potter book, which she claims she wrote on napkins when she was working as a waitress because she couldn't stop the flow of ideas coming to her. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's often how I felt. And I took a lot of notes as I was going down.
Yeah.
Doing all this. And sometimes it was overwhelming. And I had to just write like an outline and just rewrite it and flesh it out a little bit more and flesh it out a little bit more. And my editor said, these are like, you're like doing the opposite of sinking Atlantis. It's like, this is a chain of islands. This story is a chain of islands that are slowly rising to the surface.
Yeah.
And
it's like bringing Atlantis back to life.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I could ask this, much of your book deals with remembering one's true nature. Do you think every artist's creative path is really about rediscovering that inner origin?
Absolutely. And even in layers, we all learn something about ourselves and we think we've got it all figured out. And then we learn, well, that's not all there is to it. And peel off another layer and then everything becomes new again. And it's all a process of self-discovery, whether you're writing or these characters in the book, they're all peeling it back. And it occurred to me that I could have written it in a different order. I could have started in Atlantis and just revealed more about the beginning as they went along. But I kind of felt in this form, I have a rare chance to just present the truth right up front of what happened and
Yes.
lead it in that way. And if we want to do it in a different order in a movie or a TV series or something, maybe we'll do it differently that way.
A mini series.
That would be exciting.
Adam, would you privilege us with maybe a few minutes of reading from your book,
Oh, sure.
Planet Falling?
Yeah.
I think people would love to hear the author read some of the book.
Very much so.
It was hard to choose a scene, but I think that the beginning is a good place to start.
Which page are we on?
In the book, it would be page 1.
Page 1. Okay.
All right, we're at page 1 for those people who want to follow along with the book.
So this way there's no spoilers and you get your instant introduction to this world.
That's smart.
It's my first 2 or 3 interviews ever. They started with the end, and I was just like,
Yes.
people were so mad.
That's one of the things I like about this story is you kind of already know the end already, but
Yeah.
That's a good point.
how do you get there? What's this all about?
Spoiler alert.
Hey, spoiler alert. It's right there in the title.
Yes. I hadn't thought of that. You're right.
But here we go. Chapter 1 is called Sea of Light. Gabriel sang. It was not a song we would immediately recognize, but it would feel unusually calming and familiar, as it should. If we could listen to our hearts just below the rhythmic beating, we could hear it. It is the soundtrack to our dreams. Gabriel sang, his astral body swelling in blinding green splendor. That is exactly what he was, fluid light itself. He smiled warmly as he felt a marvelous tingling over himself, which was not an uncommon experience for him. After all, he was the archangel of illumination and love. They were all like that at the beginning of time, beings of pure energy. Gabriel was male only in the loosest possible sense, as he and the others of the kind were beyond sex. This is not only because the kind lacked physical bodies, but more importantly, because they lacked differences of any true sort. They were all very deeply connected, needing nothing outside themselves to maintain these forms, save perhaps each other. They were one, these beings, held together by a gift they knew as the sharing, and thus they knew no hunger, no pain, no fear, no anger, and no death. Being entities of pure energy, they could do anything they wished. The kind were beings of great curiosity and wonder, infinitely empowered. So they did what came naturally. They played. Gabriel remembered how he and Michael used to race across the cosmos at speeds unlimited by imagination. Two spheres of light chasing each other across forever. The universe was their playground. And this moment, Gabriel sang, and every kind, every being, every creature, planet and star that heard his gentle, caressing voice knew of illumination and love.
Wow.
You must do the audiobook.
That's what I was thinking.
Your voice, it's
amazing.
not only do you have a beautiful resonant voice, but the love for your work comes through in every word. There's like a tenderness to the emphasis you put on individual words.
Thank you. I actually am a voice artist also. So
Of course.
I had
I forgot that.
to do the audio.
There's a cartoon that would accompany this as it's panning into entering their real and seeing them flying with you narrating it would be absolutely amazing.
Well, I do have videos of that nature. It's right
Yeah.
up here on YouTube. If you just look up my name, and
Yeah.
you'll get to see a few seconds of the kind flying in their ethereal forms, and you get to see Atlantis and all kinds of scenes from the book.
Did you ever think this book would never get written?
No, because it was written pretty fast. The issue was it ever going to get published? That was a different story. Because coming out of college for a long time, like I didn't have the funds for that, and the technology wasn't quite there yet. It was another 20 years before I was able to publish it myself. And I actually sat down a year before that to look at what I wrote and felt like, okay, I've always loved my book, but that round I was kind of like, this was written 20 years ago by my much younger self, and I don't know what to do with this. And I decided to go do what I call the New York edit. And I just really dug into it and got really critical with it and revamped it, focusing on readability. So that finally got to a point where I felt confident in it, and I was able to self-publish on Amazon. So that's where you'll find my book, Atlantis Falling, on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
Although if you
Can
just
we find your book elsewhere?
If you're in Columbus, Ohio, Phoenix Bookstore is right across the street. It's a great metaphysical bookstore that's been here as long as I can remember, supporting the metaphysical community. And
Fabulous.
I did some of my own research there as well.
You've got to get your book into stores here in California.
Oh, yeah,
Lots of metaphysical bookstores.
I would
Sorry
love
to interrupt
to tour bookstores and do some signings. It's just a matter of time.
Yes. Yeah.
Let's go
Forgive me
ahead.
for interrupting you.
Let's go ahead and take a look at this 45-second trailer for the book Atlantis Falling, written by Adam Gabriel Steinmetz. Thank you all for being here, and enjoy the trailer. Oh my God, it gives me nightmares.
Yeah.
Gives me nightmares because
Nightmares.
it just feels so real to me.
It does feel real, but it's beautiful. I could lose myself in that.
Yes.
Again, your love, your passion
Oh
for this
my God.
material, it's so present even there. It's almost like this is your life's work,
It
part of
is.
your life purpose. I can tell.
Yeah, like the world of Atlantis. We need to make films about this.
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
Well, if you want to see some more cool visuals, just take a look at that channel, or just Google the name of the book, Atlantis Falling, and my last name, Steinmetz, and that will bring up across all the platforms, Pinterest images,
Any chance?
TikTok,
Any
Instagram.
chance
Go ahead.
they can make a movie like Amazon makes movie or Netflix? Because this would be a hell of a movie. It
Yeah.
makes me think of that film. You know what I keep thinking about when I read this film is I kept thinking about that film, which was put out by the same guy that did Star Trek. What was it about? The Blue Beings. What were they? We see.
Are you thinking of Avatar?
Avatar? I was thinking.
Yeah, James Cameron. Yeah, I thought that. I even
I read that book. Did that run through your mind? Avatar imagery.
Oh, that would be great if I could get those people
Because
working on mine. But
it's perfect
yeah.
before those people show up, you know.
Right.
So it had that kind of aspect to it. All right. Thank you so much, Adam.
Thank
Stay
you,
where
Adam.
you are. Nobody move. We have a couple quick announcements to make. Number one announcement, Debbie Brady has just announced the winner of our monthly free reading. For the as you may know, we have one person gets a free reading once a month if you subscribe to the Oracle of Whimsy fan pages. So this month, half-hour free reading goes to Suki Diamond.
all right.
Diamond, contact me at whimsyanderson@gmail.com, Suki Diamond, so that we can schedule your free reading. And then our next book of the month, they'll hopefully be in our
Drum
studio.
roll.
Yes, is going to. I'm excited about this one too, and I thought of you, Chuck, when I selected it. Dreams Need Feet to Walk On. Dreams,
Oh, I like the
Walk On.
title.
written by Marion Haley Moss. She's an actor and performer, and she basically was an actress alongside really famous people, and she tells her Hollywood story. And I was thinking of you, and this is really a book you could have written. But anyway, Dreams I Need Feet to Walk On. Marion Haley Moss, and I believe her mentor was Haley Mills.
Really?
Yeah, I believe was her. I think she has pictures of her.
Hmm.
She, yeah, she's under the tutelage of a few famous actors, including I think Haley Mills was one of the actors. All right, awesome possum. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Chuck, do you have an announcement to make before?
Just my usual announcement. If you want to reach me for a private reading, or you'd like to commission me to create artwork for you, which is always my honor to do for you, it's just DransfieldChuck, one word, at gmail.com. You can reach me. And of course, I have my channel, Chuck's Captivating Chronicles, and a little tiny chat show on Mondays, Chuck's Captivating Chat. And Whimsy?
All right. If you need to have a reading with me, you can book me through Booksy. Just Google Dr. Whimsy Anderson, and the Booksy links are there. And of course, check out Adam's work, Atlantis Falling, on Amazon. You won't regret it. It's one of the most interesting books I think we've had all year. What do you think?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah.
We've had some good ones, but this one was amazing. All right, everyone, we're out of here. Be kind to all so that all will be kind to you too. God bless. Peace out. We'll see you next time. Stay
Thank
where
you. Love you.
All right, bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.